Welcome to the Veteran Entrepreneur Network. I'm your host, Cameron Burrell, Army engineer veteran, entrepreneur, and fleet operations business owner. On this podcast, we talk trucking, logistics, fleet operations, entrepreneurship, business growth, leadership, and real-world lessons from the field. Let's get into today's episode.
Picture this. It's a Tuesday morning. Your tech finishes a single trailer wash 2 hours after arriving at a yard because the customer keeps adding another truck, then another, and the crew spends an hour driving between gatehouses rearranging keys. By the time they leave, the day's margin has evaporated into extra travel time, wasted labor, and missed follow-up jobs. You nod because you've lived it, and that 2-hour scramble hides a bigger problem. Treating stops like random tickets instead of building routes that protect time and margin.
In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to walk you through a practical route lens, how to calculate the real cost of a stop in a route, how to cluster and batch to cut drive time, and how to design pricing that captures convenience and reliability without scaring your customers off. You'll get low-risk pilots you can run in one area, simple things to track, and a 3-step checklist to start. No heavy software, just field-tested math and rules you can use this week.
Point 1. The math that matters. If you can measure it, you can manage it. Start with labor. What does a tech cost per hour on the books, including payroll, taxes, and benefits? Use fully loaded labor. If a tech costs you $30 an hour on payroll, add payroll, taxes, and insurance, and call it $38. Next, travel time, not mileage alone. If a stop adds 30 minutes of round-trip drive, that's half an hour of that fully loaded rate. Consumables and fuel. Estimate average consumables used per stop and add a per-mile fuel cost tied to your vehicle's MPG and current pump price. Then amortize equipment wear. Divide major equipment replacement costs over realistic useful life and attribute a per-stop portion. When you add those pieces, you get a true per-stop cost, not a guess. Here's a practical example. A 2-hour yard call with 30 minutes of drive time and 45 minutes of active work for one tech. If your loaded tech rate is $38 an hour, 2 hours of time equals $76. Add fuel and consumables at $20 and an equipment wear factor at $10. Your baseline cost is about $106. If you're billing the customer $80, you just subsidize that route.
Point 2. Clustering and batching. Routes win when you cut drive time and create consistent daily blocks. 3 practical rules I use. 1. Group stops by geozone and service type. Don't mix a 5-minute quick spot with multiple hour-long washes unless they sit on the same block. 2. Create time windows and protect them. Set morning, midday, and afternoon blocks and assign techs to a block rather than random calls. 3. Use batching minimums. If a customer wants a one-off outside the batch, charge a call-out or add-on. Small rules that reduce scatter. For implementation, run a 2-week pilot in one zone. Pick a busy yard cluster, map stops within a 3 to 5 mile radius, and schedule 2 technicians into fixed morning and afternoon blocks. Communicate the change clearly to customers. Tell them this pilot will improve arrival consistency and you'll lock in a preferred window. Track 3 metrics daily: drive time per stop, stops per tech per day, and on-time arrival percentage. If drive time falls and utilization rises, you've validated the clustering approach. If it doesn't, inspect the map and adjust the zone boundaries.
Point 3. Pricing designs that stick. There are 4 simple levers: zone pricing, tiered plans, minimums, and value-based add-ons. Zone pricing charges based on the distance or time band from your depot. Set clear bands. For example, Zone A up to 5 miles, Zone B 5 to 15, and Zone C beyond 15, and price accordingly. Tiered plans bundle frequency and service level, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. Price the convenience and predictability into the plan. Minimums protect your floor. Set a one-stop minimum dollar amount or a time minimum for mobile service calls. And price convenience. Guaranteed arrival windows, priority scheduling, and dedicated days are billable extras because clients pay for reliability. A common trap is overcomplicating tiers. Start simple. Test adding a small guaranteed window fee and a higher price for same-day service in your pilot zone. Use conservative increases, 10 to 15%, where actual costs show you're undercharging, and explain the value, fewer surprise cancellations, and consistent arrival times. Most clients understand reliability has a cost. Recap and action steps. A 3-step checklist to pilot a route-based approach. Step 1. Calculate your true per-stop baseline using loaded labor, travel time, consumables, and equipment wear. Put that number in a simple spreadsheet. Step 2. Pick a pilot zone. Cluster stops within a tight radius, assign fixed blocks, and run the 2-week pilot while tracking drive time per stop, stops per tech, and on-time percentage. Step 3. Test 2 pricing levers in that zone, a small zone premium and a guaranteed window fee, and measure acceptance and margin change. After 2 weeks, compare actuals to baseline. If utilization improves and margin moves in the right direction, expand by 1 adjacent zone and repeat. If not, iterate on cluster boundaries or minimums. Quick note, train your techs and hold a daily 5-minute check-in during the pilot to catch scheduling friction early. These small steps protect margins without alienating customers because you're running a controlled test, not a sudden full-scale price shock.
Before we close, a few tactical tips from the field. Keep your tracking sheet simple. Date, tech, stops, total drive time, hours billed, revenue per stop. Use GPS or a simple mileage log to validate drive time instead of guesswork. Communicate pilots to customers as reliability improvements and invite feedback after the second visit. And don't fear small fees. Customers who value consistent arrival will pay. The ones who don't are often the ones that cost you the most and scatter. If you're ready to try this, start with 1 zone this week. Run the pilot for 2 full weeks. Use the 3 metrics I mentioned and keep your pricing tests conservative. Share what you learn. Post results or questions on social and tag @Veteran Entrepreneur Network. I post templates and sample tracking sheets often, and I want to see how your pilots go. Real adjustments, real data, real improvements. Thanks for listening to the Veteran Entrepreneur Network. If today's episode brought you value, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share the podcast with another entrepreneur, owner-operator, or business professional. Keep building, keep learning, and keep moving forward. We'll see you on the next episode. Real world business, real strategies, real results.